Alrighty, folks, it is time for round one of Grand Prix Darkhand Enterprises, my first uh, Revolution Brawl GP. I don't know if I mentioned that in the deck tech, actually. I recorded the deck tech yesterday as of recording this. So if you're watching this, I believe this is going up on Sunday, but I'm playing on Saturday evening, shortly before I'm going to be uploading the deck tech, actually. So deck tech should have gone up last night. If you want to check it out, it should be on the channel. And if you're watching this a little later on, just check the Darkhand Enterprises playlist. Should have the deck tech prior to this video. But yeah, so I'm recording this Saturday night. Round one match on Saturday night, going into fighting reigning Brawl champion Split Moon, who's playing Xavvac Corruptor Core, black colorless Vukorok artifact creature. This is going to integrate their permanents to let this 6/5 for 3 actually attack and or block, and then it's going to give anything that has a permanent, any permanent that has a card integrated onto it that they control, lifelink and death touch. And there's some pretty brutal stuff kicking around here for synergies. The biggest one that I'm worried about is Hwacha. 1 mana artifact, you can pay 4, tap, and sack it to deal 100 damage to a creature an opponent controls. With Xavvac having a card integrated with Xavvac in play and a card integrated under Hwacha, that is going to gain them 100 life because the Hwacha will have lifelink. So hopefully this goes well. Our artifact tate's going to be really important here because that can pick off Xavvac and slow down the life gain from our opponent a lot. There's going to be a lot of life total trading between Jack draining them and Xavvac just completely padding their life total. So there's going to be a pretty attrition-heavy matchup, and Split Moon is very familiar with these sorts of mono-black attrition duels. So this will be tough. It's ready up here. And see how this all goes. So one nice thing about this, and we'll get into it depending on how this first hand looks, is the first mulligan is free in Brawl. Gives us a bit more room to leverage our 23 land count to our benefit. Rolled a 19, very good for us. And they rolled a 10. Alrighty. So I know it's Alt-1 to create the token I had in my sideboard, which is the Commander token, and then Command F3 to get Jack Monster Mentor out from there. The way I've been doing it is I've been doing Commander token in play, Commander tucked under, and then tracking Commander attacks on the Commander token. So let's look at opening hands. Oh, this is pretty good. Morbid Bloomer without anything to recur is really awkward. But like Rough Rider is pretty good. We can Temple of Malady try and find some more action. I think this is reasonable. This is perfectly reasonable. Alrighty, we both keep. Let's Temple of Malady. View top 1. Disestablishmentarianism, that is going to stay on top for sure. That's one of our checks to Xavvac, and that's very good with Morbid Bloomer. So we'll pass on over to the opponent here. See what they have going on. Not too many 1-drops to my recollection. They've got Sky Raiders and Pathetic Cocoon. Though they could just play out a Hwacha here. Wasted Watch Post, that's not going to be anything coming down. This does get to blow up our non-basics, but Jack can just recur that if this ever does blow up a non-basic. And that does cost them a land to do so. And this has to actually hit us as well, which is significantly harder. So we will untap and draw Disestablishmentarianism we knew about. Play out Swamp, just because we do have a double black card in hand. Better to hold, to play the Swamp than the Forest here, in case there's something that could, I don't know, maybe force us to try and play out the second Swamp next turn. And we're just going to run out Morbid Bloomer. Can't hold up the mana for Disestablishmentarianism anyways, so no real need to do so. And we get a 3-1 out. Slower clock at 25 life than 20. It's the difference between killing them in 7 turns and killing them in 9 turns. But this won't be our only clock, so we should be fine. Tapping 2 for a Dreg Street Inquisitor. Yeah, that's gonna be a bit of a problem here. But we don't have any immediate removal for it. So let's untap. Let's draw Failed Gateway here. That can clean up. That can't clean up the Inquisitor. It's a 1/3. Question then becomes: do I offer the Morbid Bloomer trade? And if not, like, or do I Barbarous Rough Rider before or after? I think I will offer the trade on Morbid Bloomer first here. I can use Jack to get it back later on, so it's not that big of a deal. And at the moment, Failed Gateway is looking like it just kills Bloomer. So let's go to combat and chip in for 3. See if they want to declare blocks. They'll just take the damage. No payment for me. We'll play the Forest and run out to the Barbarous Rough Rider, chip them for another 2. So take the opponent to 20 unless they want to pop the Inquisitor here. They're going to go to 20. Alrighty. Very likely that they run out Xavvac here, but the problem with running out Xavvac is... oh, no, actually, they can just run out... They can go to second main phase, run out Xavvac, and then have Xavvac untapped. I was going to say, like, the problem with running out Xavvac here is you play it on first main and then it just taps, but the nice thing about Xavvac is that you can... kind of intentionally play around it a little bit. Paying 2. Not going to run out Xavvac immediately here. We get a Corpse Pyre Fiend instead. All right. That is going to be pretty good at pressuring my graveyard for Jack. So that is kind of annoying. I do think the plan is going to be running out Jack here still. Opponent just passes, holding up a colorless. They do have some single colorless tricks here. Specifically, they have Spatial Rift, counter-activated or triggered ability from a non-land source. If a creature's ability is countered this way, you may pay 1 and a colorless. If you do, exile that creature. So they could hold that up in like response to a Barbarous Rough Rider trigger or a Morbid Bloomer trigger, potentially. So we will draw Aspect of the End is pretty good. Kind of awkward that we're not finding the 5th land drop. We started with 4 lands and we have yet to find a 5th. Because I would love to go like Aspect of the End, Disestablishmentarianism, hold up activation next turn. Or like Aspect Failed Gateway next turn. But that does require a 5th land to make that happen. That being said, I think there is no world where we don't just run out Jack here. So we unattach and put him on the stack. And we will just put Jack in play on 3 loyalty. And I'll track Commander Tax with red instead. So it's different than loyalty. I think we could just hang out. Like, there's no real rush to chip in here. Maybe we swing with the Barbarous Rough Rider, see if they want to just take the trade. But I can't imagine they do. it's sort of just a weighing of like, is the 3 damage really important here, or do I value like having another blocker up for the Corpse Pyre Fiend so I don't have to put Morbid Bloomer in harm's way? I think I don't want to put Bloomer in harm's way if I can help it. So we're going to +2. See if they have responses if they want to counter this. Opponent says K. We will mill Forest and Primal Fisher. There's those lands I was hoping for. Unfortunate. Opponent loses 1, we gain 1, and we will just pass on back. Worst case scenario, we can tap one of our lands next turn, sacrifice it to Jack. They're going to integrate the top card of our library. It's a Rooftop Slink. No, that's a really good one. Though it is nice that we get a creature out of the way because I would not mind finding the 5th land here. But again, in a pinch, what Jack can do is give us a pseudo land drop by letting us sacrifice a land. Okay, and they're eating the Primal Fisher with Corpse Pyre Fiend. That makes sense. Presumably under the Inquisitor, yeah, to just kind of build up the damage bomb of Dreg Street Inquisitor here. Nice we didn't mill any creatures with big keywords. That is a nice dodge here. Though I don't know if we have a ton. It's yeah, we have lifelink and flying each on a single creature, and the flyer's in our hand. So third swamp does mean that they can try and run out Xavvac, or oh god, Chronicle of Extinction. Sacrifice a creature and a planeswalker. So that's gonna be so I have to lose Jack here, but I think that's gonna be sacrifice the Rough Rider. And then we do still get a Jack trigger from that, because he does see himself go to the graveyard. And then it's a question of, do we keep him in the graveyard or ship him to the command zone? I believe the way exiled cards in graveyards work as commanders is, I know if you send commander to the graveyard, then they get exiled from the graveyard. The state-based action rechecks. But I believe the way it works with integrate is because exiling it and attaching it is all part of one process. The card gets integrated very briefly, then state-based actions are checked, and I can ship it back before anything actually cares about it being integrated. Not sending Jack to command zone, Rough Rider trigger. Jack trigger as well. So the opponent does go down to 16 here. Opponent will pass. Let's untap and draw here. Find a Temple of Origins. Well, I was thinking about trying to like rebuy the forest instead of rebuying Jack here, though that would have been a very greedy line. I can now instead swing Bloomer, pick up Jack, Temple of Origins, set up Disestablishmentarianism. Alternatively, I can Aspect of the End first, so that way the damage from Bloomer is more threatening. I think I want to set up Disestablishmentarianism because I do want to shut down Xavvac being able to come down here and spike their life total. So we are going to go... We're going to go to combat first here. And ship in for 3. See if they want to block. Probably not, because Xavvac is a bit of life gain. Oh, they are going to block with the Dreg Street Inquisitor. anything before damage. They are going to integrate the top card of our library. They take another forest. Dang it. Well, we did find the temple. So they're going to put the forest under Corpse Pyrofiend, so it will have that lined up. Damage. These just go back to my exile, and I'll pay 1 to have Bloomer get back Jack here. I have to drag while they're not both in graveyard. So we pick up Jack here. And main 2, we will play Temple of Origins tapped, and just set up a bit of a bully engine. I'm sorry, retap for that real quick. I wanted to use Temple of Malady instead of the Forest because of Wasted Watchpost being able to threaten the non-basic. I want to have control over when I can crack this, or when I want to crack this. So we will pass, see if they go for Xavvac. Obviously, Disestablishmentarianism really dissuades Xavvac actually being used here. Failed Gateway looking a lot better now that the only thing in play is 3/2. Though we will probably see Corpse Pyrofiend eat both of our creatures. I think it's likely we see... Okay, our Archaic Obelisk is in... That's fine. I don't mind if this draws them a card. So if they want to go ahead and activate this, I'm cool with that. Oop. They untapped... They removed the counter. Oh, yeah. Right. Disestablishmentarianism just shuts that off. Duh. Yeah, we'll take 3. Yeah, it's very likely that Corpse Pyrofiend here is just gonna pick up the or like eat away at Bloomer and Rough Rider here. Opponent is passing the turn. We will untap and draw. Ominous Slaughter gives us a little more control here. I'm thinking about if I want to run out Aspect of the End or Jack Monster Mentor. If I want to run out Aspect of the End this turn to set up for Jack Monster Mentor, or if I want to hold the Omen, if I want to hold up for Ominous Slaughter or Disestablishmentarianism, I'm thinking this is just going to be the Failed Gateway turn, because like thinking about their deck, they don't have a ton of creatures. The two things they have in play, like this dies to it, but Wasted Watchpost doesn't, because it's only going to be a creature on their turn. Sky Raiders dies to it temporarily, but like otherwise, Strato Sentry is it. That's the only other thing they have that dies to this. So I might as well just use this as like 3 mana kill Corpse Pyrofiend while I can. So we're gonna continue using the duels first, so that way Wasted Watchpost can't pressure the amount of mana we have available on... oh, actually, we'll do this for Failed Gateway. Just kill Corpse Pyrofiend while we can. See if they respond by eating the creatures. They're not going to respond. Interesting. So we do keep Rough Rider and Bloomer in graveyard. This makes me think they don't have... Yeah, they don't have other graveyard hate. So... Yeah, that makes me think they really do have Spatial Rift now. Or they're holding up MAME, and they're like concerned that we're going to run out of 2-drop here. Yeah, which makes me more interested in running out Aspect at the end. Because this just gets around the interaction they might have. So we will ship on back. Miss a land drop, but that is fine. Opponent has missed a land drop as well. We've got Skycleaver, Jack, and Omen here. Rumbling Door. Oof. Inner Rings Pupil. No. Okay. I think here that is going to be cause to pitch Jack to command zone. I want to keep Skycleaver. I want to keep Omen. Omen is how I deal with this. And then, yeah, Pupil down here in play. Not animating and swinging the Wasted Watch Post is interesting. Definitely feel like what they're indicating here is they're either holding the Spatial Rift, or I could totally anticipate Split very intentionally trying to feign the one singular spell they could have here. But the nice thing is, this does stop the Omen trigger, but then we just get to try and form a new plan to deal with Inner Rings Pupil. Concurrent Escapist. Ooh, that sure is weird text box when all of our things in play are 2 mana. Also, Disestablishmentarianism really awkward at picking off Archaic Obelisk, because it is exile this, but they can activate in response. Very weird. Yeah, and if this is the Spatial Rift being held up, they can counter whatever Jack ability we go for if we... Well, no, we can't recast Jack anyways. I think it is in my best interest to go for the Omen Slaughter, make them have it. And if they do, I play out the Concurrent Escapist. Yeah, so we're going to go for the Omen, make them have it. See if they want to counter this Enter trigger. They are going to counter it. Wasted Watch Post tapped. They did have the Spatial Rift. We say, okay. And I think we're going to run out the Concurrent Escapist. So this is all in main phase 1. We will animate the Aspect of the End and chip in for 2 or 3. If they want to block here, that's great. They're going to take the 3. And we will pass. We're still holding up Disestablishmentarianism. There is a bit of awkwardness if they do animate the Wasted Watch Post here. Opulent Vantage is going to gain them some life back. Gives them another colorless to work with. 2 cards in hand for the opponent, 1 in ours. Skycleaver is going to bite the dust here almost certainly. They're tapping 4. Also worth noting, they are 6 out of 9 lands for flashing back Chronicle of Extinction. Stratos Sentry. Oh, that's a haymaker to find here. Yikes. One of the last things I wanted to see here was the Stratos Sentry. So that's going to put us way further down on being able to Jack. And yeah, if they animate Wasted Watch Post here, we're in a heaping amount of trouble. That's exactly what they're doing. Sentry is a 3/2 flyer here. We are taking 5, having to discard Malicious Skycleaver. And then, yeah, this is escaping us really quickly. And they are going to sacrifice Watch Post, presumably pick off the Temple of Malady. Yep. Does set them back on mana in terms of building up to Chronicle of Extinction, but this is still a really, really sore spot to be in. Our removal is very scarce. We cannot cast our commander next turn no matter what. Like, the one advantage we have is we've shut off Archaic Obelisk, which is not a big deal when we're staring down 6 power plus the threat of taking 7. We will untap. We will draw. Now we find the land. Goodness gracious. Yeah, I think this is slipping away from us really quickly. This is going to be 13 damage, potentially 16, which sets us up to be killed. If we don't develop the swamp, that's 7 less damage, meaning we would just take 9. But we would lose the land drop, which doesn't set us up for future turns. So I think we are kind of in the position of having to play out Swamp, and then possibly just Omen of Slaughter, like crack Disestablishmentarianism, pick off Archaic Obelisk on their end step, and then Omen of Slaughter, dig for an out. But I think they're going to be pretty few and far between. I don't think we're getting much further here. Don't love having to develop this land here, given the circumstances, but we got to do what we got to do. All right, opponent draws. Probably just going to see Rumbling Door animated take us to 3. Yup, that certainly looks like what's happening. Yup. All right, so this is a 3/3 indefinitely with Vigilance. Not an artifact creature, so I can't Disestablishmentarianism it. That's going to be... We take 7, and then we take 9, down to 3. Yeah. That's rough. They tap a colorless for first contact. They're going to draw a card. And then, yeah. Oh, God, they found another land as well. Not that big of a deal, but we just gotta pick off the obelisk. Gives them a window to... Oh, they don't activate it. Yeah. Come on, something good. Hang would have been a nice draw on this prior turn cycle, like 2 turns ago, instead of the escapist, so we could have checked the Inner Ring's Pupil. Ship both to bottom. These aren't going to do it. And untap, draw. Oh, Skotha on 5 lands. Not going to cut it. Oh, yeah. Wrong key. F2 is how we end the game. No sideboarding to do, so we're just hopping right into the next game. Weaken 5, control F3, grabs commander. And I did say I'll play. Ooh. Well, this is the advantage of having the free mulligan. 1 forest, tough nut, just not going to cut it. With no follow-ups. Let's clarify. We're taking free mull. 2 forests and pair of mono black 1-drops that we would love to play ahead of the Mana Harvesters that we're gonna kind of have to just play after the Mana Harvesters, or we can dig for a 6. I think I'm fine with this as a 7. We get Mana Harvesters, we can try and develop Disestablishmentarianism if needed, but we can also just try and get Exorcist of Errors and Duress rolling and Receive rolling. So I think this is gonna be fine. Keep 7 lined up for when opponent makes a mulligan choice. I try to make my mulligan choices as quickly as possible when I'm on the play, just because proper procedure is active player or starting player makes their mulligan choice first, and then you toggle back, you alternate back and forth. But a lot of people, just to kind of keep the game rolling, will just declare their mulligan decisions as soon as they're done. And I get it, you know, stakes aren't super high. But I try and I do what I can to follow procedure whenever I can. But it does lead to some awkward situations where I'm still debating my decision on the play, and my opponent locks in their choice before I can declare mine. Opponent is tanking for a minute on their hand. I kind of don't want to like rush Split and ask like, "Hey, are you keeping?" But I don't know for sure if this is a case of Split having decided to keep the hand or still thinking. Yeah, I'll just kind of wait. I might pause the video here for a second just so you all don't have to wait with me. All right, seems like it was a thinking. I did cave and ask, but Split did decide to keep. So we will go ahead and start here with just a forest and hope the Mana Harvester sticks. Opponent does have a couple removal spells, but it's like Maim, Taste for Malice. Duress here is not too awful. Killing in the name of would be pretty rough. Capital Sky Raiders, no! Oh, not the one drop. Hey, Hardy Rough Rider, no, we need to find lands. 23 lands. How could it have happened like this? Alrighty. Opponent untaps. I mean, I have to assume this is just like this. The Sky Raiders is always coming in. Coalesced Core doesn't change too much. The Taste for Malice can't be cast anyways. They're tapping to. No, it's the thing I said would be most awful. Oh no. Oh, this could be really bad. This could be profoundly bad. Good lord. I think I had a moment of like looking at the options and was like, well, this could be really rough specifically. They're going to take Vishanki just to bully me on the mana. And then they will integrate the top card of our library. Oh, come on. I mean, I guess this wouldn't have cast half the cards in my hand, but that still stings. And we're going to draw a black card. Okay, I can at least cast Masksmith. Oy. Yeah, Mana Screw 2 games in a not quite Mana Screw last game, but like Mana was really tight last game, and then Mana Screw this game. Not a great place to be against mono black, uh, just attritioning me out of existence. Could be worse. Masksmith is something that we have going for us. Um, we'll see if they want to run out Xavvac here. Probably not. Masksmith. The awkward spot about Masksmith is that running it out means we have disestablishmentarianism and Masksmith, the things that stop them from casting their commander. Which just means this just says you can't cast your commander until you remove this. And they could even still just cast their commander right now and just gain 1, deal 1. It's not the worst thing in the world. Although they would have Xavvac tapped if they did that, because I doubt they want to just integrate Vishanki for the sake of having a blocker up. So join me in praying that we draw an untapped black source. We've seen 3 forests. We have 7 swamps. I should have mulliganed to 6. I absolutely should have mulliganed to 6. I've thought about, and this is definitely a case of I really should do this. I've thought about putting a sticky note on my monitor that just says, if you're thinking about it, just mulligan. Because, like, I keep doing this to myself and losing games for keeping hands I probably shouldn't have kept. So that's very awkward. Opponent is tapping to... Are they debating about just killing Masksmith here? Do they have the double removal? There's no way they had the double removal, right? Paying 3. Borrow. Oh, whoa. I mean, the nice thing about this is that I can kind of control when it goes off. I can kind of pop it on my, on like my end to force a trigger here. But that is going to be a lot of pressure over time. And they do get to draw 2 cards here, game 2. Yeah. And these just block Masksmith very well. Like, they could just double block Masksmith and take care of it that way. We take 1, they integrate. Annoying, but this could be a lot worse. That means that this is something that's not just going to be rotting in our hand here. We will untap, draw Osan's Blessing with no 3rd land. Goodness gracious. All right. I'm going to swing with Masksmith, see if they take the double block, and then Disestablishmentarianism afterwards. They're probably just going to take 3, but like this wasn't blocking anyways, so yeah. I at least made them think about it. Don't know why that did that. Yep. This is bad. This is very bad. Gosh. And I get, like, this is one of the consequences of running a 23 lands deck, but also, like, come on. I've played 20 landers in GPs with a 60 card deck, no like commander sitting in the command zone, and I've had better draws than this. Ugh. This just happens. Hi. Man, and of course the first, it's not like I mulliganed the first hand because it was like profoundly greedy and I just couldn't justify it. Or it was like super land dense. It was the exact same problem. It was single land tough nut, no other things that I could do. This was at least 2 forests, disestablishmentarianism, mana harvesters, and then they had the answer for mana harvesters, so the disestablishmentarianism couldn't really do its job. Or sorry, the mana harvesters couldn't really do its job and like develop receive plus disestablishmentarianism the following turn. Although of course they also hit a forest with capital Sky Raiders. If they hadn't, I would have drawn the 3rd land and been able to start doing more things that way. It's just kind of one of those games. They're tapping 3. They are going to go for Xavvac here. We'll see if they integrate Borrow. It's very likely they integrate Borrow. Yep, they're going to do that. So goes on one of their things, goes on the Sky Raider. So this is going to be a 4/4 next turn. And then they sacrifice, lose 1, and discard a card. Pitching a Swamp must be nice. We take 2. They integrate another cheap black spell we can't play. Though this would have been very nice to answer the Sky Raiders prior to right this second when it becomes a 4/4. Asking if they gained 1, because Xavvac does have the lifelink on Sky Raiders. There we go. We draw. I mean, we're not out of this. We can still, like, just pop Xavvac here. But this is kind of silly. Forgot Xavvac has rules text. Oh my goodness. I'm debating if I want to just exile Xavvac now and swing in for 3. Because again, like, the reason to hold back the Masksmith is so that way I could, like, block Rumbling Door and, like, still clear Xavvac with the Masksmith. But I think if Rumbling Door animates, I just trade the Masksmith anyways. Yeah, we're just going to pass. Whew. I mean, we've got good stuff if we can draw out of this. Ozon's Blessing draw, like, a green source technically gets us out of this because it finds us, it doesn't find us concurrent. It doesn't find us mana harvesters to make black mana. God damn it! It finds us Tough Nut. It finds us Tough Nut so we can at least cast Jack, and like try and crawl our way out of this ever so slowly. Oh god, and we can't even replay the land we sacrificed with Jack's +1 because it's an if. So we have to target on activate, on like putting it on the stack rather than on resolution. They are going to animate crumbling, or not crumbling, rumbling door. We will say K to that. See if they integrate. They're not integrating. I am just trading the Masksmith. Actually, am I? No, I'm just letting it die. I am gonna stop the Xavvac here. I think I might do it with disestablishmentarianism. So we take 5. I mean, wouldn't have been the best draw at this point. My gosh. Don't love just letting Xavvac be unchecked now, but we kind of just have to do what we can to keep the pressure off. We untap. This is hell. This is hell. At least we hit the 3rd land drop. Do we just run out Hardy Rough Rider here? Like, it doesn't block anything. No, we gotta hold Ozon's Blessing. What are we blessing? What are we blessing for here? We get Blessing for... Can't get Exorcist of Errors because that's in our hand. Can't get Mana Harvesters because that got killed. Arduous Miners has no real synergy right now because we have nothing that we can pull out of the... No ways to pull things out of our graveyard. Though Arduous Miners would otherwise be amazing right now. Also, we drew Lurking Virculacus for the turn, so we can't get that either. It's going to be either Tough Nut or... either we get Tough Nut or we get Concurrent Escapist. I think it's going to be Tough Nut here. Because it both casts Jack and makes black mana. They are paying 5, recasting Xavvac here. So we're going to take 5, they gain 4, and presumably they're just going to integrate onto Xavvac so it will have lifelink Death Touch. We take 5. Come on. I swear I have swamps in this deck. All right, we're going to Ozon's Blessing. They say next card, I promise. Not view top, it's view full library. Split knows exactly what I'm getting here. Split calls it out correctly. It's the nut. The nut. This is tapped. Behold. All right. Save me, nut. What the hell? What the hell's happening? This is awful. Oh my god. 6 forests out of 7 in the first 19 cards. Not a single black source to be seen. I'm losing my mind. All right. We could cast Jack and not anything else, which is really bad right now. We could like Jack, hold up a mana and like minus to rebuy like mana harvesters, but that's just so slow. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna play Hardy Rough Rider, gain 3, and we're just gonna play Receive. All right. I just need to draw 1 swamp. I swear to God, if Skyraker's Exile is the last forest, I'm gonna lose my mind if that's what happens here. And unfortunately, Receive doesn't fix our next draw. It fixes the draw after that. So the big value here is that it lets us determine what we want to put on top for Capital Sky Raiders to eat. They are maiming the nut instead of the Rough Rider. No. That's so mean. Oh, man. And they've got 11 damage on board? No way. No way. Okay, Offerings of Sky Gods. I was going to say, no way that this is, that this is their taste for malice to exile the Hardy Rough Rider here. Okay, Pathetic Cocoon. Presumably, they will just integrate the berry onto either integrate the berry or integrate Pathetic Cocoon. Tapping Protean Bows. Okay, they're just putting the berry on the Sky Raiders, so they'll gain 1 more this turn. I think I have to just block Xavvac here. They're eating the cocoon, presumably putting it under offerings here. Yeah. So they make a 1/1. And they can swing with everything. We block Xavvac, take 6. Go to 8. Path of Phoenix can't be cast. That's fine. They're helping me not draw things that I can't cast. They exiled Pull of Tizerus, Omen of Slaughter, and Path of Phoenix. Like all of my Therisage Attracts cards are just evaporating and going underneath Xavvac here, or like going underneath the Sky Raiders here, and then we're just finding like nothing. Should be at 40. because they gained 10, but this is actually 6 plus. Sorry. Jellyfish got lifelink too. Did not like having to trade the Masksmith there, but good lord. I had to let the Xavvac stick. I found the black sword. It's just like 7 turns too late. I think that's about accurate actually, because opponent I don't believe has missed a land drop, and they lost a land. So yeah, our opponent has had 7 turns. I've had this is my turn 8. So I had 7 draws. I hit 2 forests and a miasmic cove. This is just how it pans out sometimes. Unfortunate. So that's not how this deck is supposed to work. Hopefully next round we get to actually play some Magic without our deck just like collapsing into a pile of nothing. We found the answers to Xavvac. It was great, and then we just couldn't play the game. Oh my god. All right. Well, it's a good thing that that was my match and that there's plenty of other matches between this one and the next one, so I have time to recover from this. So well played the split. Even with all of my unfortunate luck there was still some very clean navigating from Split's part. So definitely an earned win. Like don't take the awful draws on my part to discount Split's skill here. This is also very much the avenue that Split is very experienced with. He designed Cyberos, so integrate is his baby. And like Xavvac was one of the buffs I was most happy to see. And clearly it is doing some work being able to eat tokens that are just kind of sitting around, or just feed borrow to Sky Raiders to accelerate it. This makes me think that like integrate aggro could be a very real plan in Constructed. So thank you all for tuning in. Hopefully I give you all a more riveting match next round. Until then, I hope you all take care, and I will see you all in the Revolution chat. Bye-bye.